Hey guys, I was just about to jump back in and check out some more of Can XR, and I thought I would take you guys along with me. So what is Can XR? Well, I'm sure many of you have heard of the annual Cannes Film Festival, which is a world-renowned festival that displays all different sorts of video media, movies, short films, and so on. What Can XR is the branch of that festival which deals with immersive media, just the type of thing that you would deal with if you are a VR enthusiast. So normally this event is held in a physical location, but due to the, shall we say, current state of the world, of course we know that many of these things have been canceled and or moved to online venues. Such is the case with the Cannes Film Festival. So instead of having this in some physical location somewhere in the world, this year they're doing it in the virtual space, and they couldn't have picked a better venue to host this thing than the Museum of Other Realities. So let's walk on in the museum and I'll let you know a little bit more about what's going on here. First of all, let me talk a little bit about the venue. The Museum of Other Realities is it is just what it says. It is a museum which displays all sorts of different immersive artwork, anything from sculptures to film. All different sorts of visual art can be found on display in this museum, and it's a rather large place. It's a real museum, and I'll take you down here to the map just to kind of give you an idea of what the scale of this place is. It's literally huge. So here it is. This is a 3D interactive map, and I don't know how well you can make out. There are different levels here, 3 of them in fact, and actually there's more than that, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But this thing is huge. As you can see, there's a bunch of different rooms. Every one of those little pinpoints on the map there is another exhibit. This part over here is the original museum, and this part over here is the Cannes exhibit, what we've come here to see today. Now, normally this program costs $20 on Steam VR. But the cool thing about this is because they're hosting this Cannes XR Film Festival, it's free right now. It's free to check out not only the Cannes exhibit, but the entire Museum of Other Realities is free for about another 3 or 4 days. So you're going to want to get in and check this thing out while you can. The original museum in itself is worth your time. This festival, it really is just the cherry on top. So without getting too much into the capabilities and features of the museum itself, I will let you know a couple of things about it. First of all, you can personalize your avatar, and you can bring your friends, as many of them as you want. As you can see here, there's a list of people who are in the museum right now, and you can friend up with any of them and keep a running list of who's in here with you. So say you want to bring 1, 2, 20 friends with you into VR to check out this or this exhibit or any of the exhibits that live here, you can. And it's a really cool way, honestly, to get out of the house. If you've been locked down for the last 3 months like a lot of the world has, and you're feeling a little bit claustrophobic, this is a good way to get out and do it with a friend. So it's really cool, and honestly, it's worth the $20 price point. So super cool that it's free right now. Not only on Steam, might I add, but it's also free on Steam or on Viport as well. And it's a regular title in Viport Infinity. So we're not going to delve too deep into any of the video footage. Obviously, that there are tons of different immersive films that are on display here right now. and I think my video would probably get taken down pretty quickly if I were to show you footage from any of those. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just take you over to the can wing of the museum and kind of show you how things are set up here, just how much content there is here, and just how high the quality of it is. Anyway, you move around by teleportation. It's pretty basic, you know, flip your thumbstick in the direction you want to go, and it'll just kind of, you know, blink you to wherever the icon goes. See? Just pretty standard stuff here. Now, if you want to get a better vantage point of one of the pieces of art, say, for example, this is a normal type of thing that you would see here at the museum. This has been here as long as I've been coming to this museum. This piece has been here. And let's say you want to take it in from a different vantage point. Obviously, this is a pretty cool looking piece of art here, probably made in quill or medium or something of that sort. But there are different ways to take it in. You can reach over your shoulder here and grab these drinks, and what these drinks do is change your form factor. So now I'm kind of giant looking down on this thing instead of normal size. Taking out the pink drink. Now I'm tiny, and the exhibit is giant size. We just did the pink drink, did the green drink, and the blue drink brings us back to normal. Now, certain ones of these exhibits are super cool because you can teleport right into the thing. See how small that icon became? See, it's huge here, but when I put it on this piece of artwork, it gets tiny. And the reason for that is we can zoom literally right down into the exhibit. So now we're ground level in this thing, looking at it close up. And there are tons of different pieces of artwork. Some of them absolutely crazy with all sorts of detail, and some of them just beautiful, like this one is. And this is the normal stuff. This is just the regular stuff that they always have at the exhibit, or at the museum rather, for people to check out. And we're back out into the museum again. So that's the type of browsing that you can do. And what I also wanted to show you is, instead of just teleportation, you have this float feature that allows you to just kind of glide. And not only can you glide backward and forth, but you can pretty much glide to some extent in every direction that you point. So if I want to move myself up or down, see, it just kind of moves you all around. It goes kind of slowly if you do it with one hand, but if you use two, you move around at a decent little clip here. So let's get back on the red carpet here and get back on our way to the can exhibit, because that's really the money shot. That's what I brought you all here to check out. There's another one of the normal exhibits here. Really a cool thing. It's literally a portal into the artwork itself, and if you want to really check it out, you can just teleport right into it. Again, not what we're here for. So we're just going to make our way down the red carpet here, and these are the producers, the different organizations that have provided the art and the immersive content that's on display here right now. We have Kaleidoscope, Veer, Positron, and Tribeca, which is another film festival that, much like the Cannes Festival, got canceled this year and moved into online and virtual arenas. So right around this corner begins the Cannes exhibit, and it's a really cool thing. It's cool to be in a virtual museum because it very much feels like a real museum, Obviously, there's quite a sense of presence. I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is actually echoing and reverberating through the halls here, as if I were really standing here. So it is quite immersive. But there are things about being in a virtual museum that you'll never be able to do in a real-life museum. For example, here is the first little exhibit. And again, it's just like the one I showed you a moment ago. It's a portal. So instead of walking through a door to go into a room, there's literally just a circular portal just floating here. And as you can see, we just passed right through it. And there's all sorts of cool looking artwork hanging on the wall. Cool looking stuff. Now I don't know if these are, they appear just to be stills, probably taken from some of the videos that are on display here. But I wouldn't be surprised if you could just teleport right into them. I'm kind of afraid to do it because, again, if there are videos in these, I don't want to get in trouble for showing you all. But I'll show you the pictures anyway because they're honestly cool enough on their own. I mean, you can see this is pretty cool stuff here. Talented artists have produced these. Let's just float on over here. Take in these last couple, and then we'll get down into the museum proper. This is just kind of a little introductory area. Again, these may have some sort of videos attached to them if you teleport into them, but I'm not going to do that. Not intentionally anyway. Anyway, that's cool. I would hang that on my wall. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, let's get back into the main hall here, and I'll show you how this thing is set up and what you can expect if you decide to check it out yourself. Again, you're not going to want to wait to do this because it's just a few more days now that this is going to be up, and then it'll be gone. And if you want to watch any of this stuff, if you're lucky enough to be able to catch any of it after this, it'll be on sale in one of the stores. And a lot of this stuff that's in here right now is already on sale in the Oculus store and Viveport, and probably even on Steam as well. Alright, so now we're entering the can exhibit, right? So there are 4 different wings, and we're looking at 2 of them here. We have the Kaleidoscope Wing right here, and we have the Tribeca Virtual Arcade here. And then if we go straight ahead, you'll notice that there's something down there. We'll go take a look at that in a moment. First, I want to just kind of meander down one of these hallways here and show you what the artwork looks like. Alright, so we're going down the Tribeca Virtual Arcade Wing of the Cannes Film Festival, Cannes XR, and the first display we come to, as you can see here, is something called The Line, and it states right under the title there that this is a 6 Degrees of Freedom display. So what this is a 15 to 20 minute interactive film. So it's not just going to be a movie, but you're going to be able to interact with it as well. This specific piece, The Line, is developed and produced by Arvor Immersive, which is the development company that brought us Pixel Ripped 1989 as well as Pixel Ripped 1995. They just released this within the last month on the Oculus store, and it's something like $5 or $6 if you want to own this. But again, if you come in here into the Cannes Film Festival at the Museum of Other Realities, you can watch this entire thing for free. So instead of paying for it like the general public has to, you can experience it absolutely free of charge. This is just one exhibit of over 50 that are in the Cannes Film Festival, Cannes XR Festival that's taking place right now. So each one of these different art pieces has its own room. And what you'll see is when you go into one of these rooms, they all have their own individual piece of art, which is beautiful to take in just all on its own. I mean, look at this thing. I'm sure that the flat screen does it absolutely no justice, but the 3D is just eye-popping, and the quality is beautiful. The production value is high. I mean, it's an art exhibit, right? They're giving out awards, and they've already named the winners, I'm quite sure. But every one of these that I've checked out so far has their own little room like this and their own little piece of artwork for people to check out. Now, this is themed from the line, which I have already watched, by the way, and the lead character in the line rides a bicycle around and picks yellow flowers. So this is actually themed from the piece itself, and this is a very good one. I recommend that any of you that are coming in here to check out this festival should make sure that you carve out 20 minutes to come in here and check out this piece before you go. Don't wait, by the way. I said there's 3 or 4 days left to check this thing out, and you're going to need every minute of it. There's so much here. If you want to take it all in, it's going to take every bit of that 3 or 4 days, all of your free time. And I haven't checked out a whole lot of it yet, but what I have checked out has been very high quality and every bit worth my time. So if you want to watch the line when you're in here, and after you've got it installed, by the way, you have to not only install the Museum of Other Realities, but the festival, the Cannes XR Festival, is DLC. It's free DLC that you have to install as well. I said there were 4 wings, and each of those wings has its own DLC pack. So this is quite a big piece of software. If you're going to do it all at once, you're looking at 70 to 80 gigabytes, but it is broken up into pieces, 15 to 20 gigabytes each, so you don't have to have all of that space at once, unless you just want to do like I did and have the entire exhibit at the ready, so if there is a piece that you want to check out, you don't have to wait on a download. Anyway, if you want to check out the line or any one of these other films that they have on display, all you have to do is teleport into one of these light beams. Every room has one of these beams. You just literally touch it and it will load it into your VR headset, just as if you owned it on the Oculus store, and click play. So we're going to go ahead and walk on out of here, and I'll just show you the rest of this wing, how many different exhibits there are just in the Tribeca Arcade Wing, and what some of the rooms that they've set up for them look like. So here we have the Book of Distance, and this is another one that I watched, and this is another interactive movie that was it's about this the artist's grandfather, and he migrated from Japan to Canada just before the onset of the Second World War. And as you know, after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, in the United States and in Canada as well, many Japanese nationals were rounded up and put into concentration camps, put into work camps forcibly, I might add, and many of them lost their families, many of them lost their property, their homes, and that's very much what this film is about. As you can see, the room is set up themed toward the experience, but like any proper museum, there are artifacts laying around for you to check out. So literally there's the guy's grandfather. It's his story that's being told in this. Here are these old passports and things, and you can actually pick this stuff up in the experience. All of these photographs, all of these passports and registration things, you actually pack this suitcase when he's getting ready to leave Japan and move to Canada. So this was another very good one. It was very interesting. It really helps you to put yourself in the shoes of all of those unfortunate individuals who were under suspicion during wartime. Here you can see on display some of the letters that the Canadian government sent the guy's grandfather as they were basically confiscating all of his property, his home, and taking everything that he had away from him. By the way, you should check it out, even though it does, even though you do feel deeply for this person and for his family. It does have a fairly happy ending, so it's definitely worth your time. And like the line, again, it's 10, 15, 20 minutes, high quality experience. Again, if we were to want to watch this, all we would have to do is just teleport into this light beam here, and it would just whisk us away into a whole other experience, which is honestly good enough to pay for, and probably will end up being in one of the stores. So as you can see, this is super cool. This place is set up like a museum would be, because it is a museum. It's an actual museum, only it's not bound by the constraints of the physical world. And that's one of the really cool things about visiting venues like this in VR is you're not bound by gravity or anything like that. The laws of physics really don't apply in VR. Again, another beautiful piece of artwork just to try to entice people to check out the short film. This one was what? Let's see here what this one was. This is ARC USA 360 video variation presents a glimpse of the intimate lovers dance from Queerskin's ARC. That project co-produced with Intel Studios and set for a 2020 release. So again, what is probably going to end up being paid content on display here, absolutely free of charge for a limited time. What do we have here? We have Virtual Human Interaction Lab from Stanford University. Virtual becomes reality, a Stanford VR experience. An interactive documentary delving into nearly 20 years of research from Stanford University's Virtual Human Interaction Lab. From flying like a superhero to dancing with Grover, this virtual tour combines computer-generated graphics, 360 videos, and some volumetric captures to explore some of VR's most important questions. So this is literally a study in VR. 20 years of data from Stanford University. Let's see what kind of room they have set up for this. So it looks like we have a floating table here, which is a map. Super cool. Probably a campus map of Stanford. And then the walls literally have the credits from all the people, I guess, who have worked on this project over the years. Super cool. Now obviously I'm not going to sit here and show you guys every single room, but I just want you to get an idea of the kinds of things that are here. And Man, that one's bright. What's here? Gravity. Oh, I actually checked out Gravity before in another one of these festivals. Gravity's cool. It's another good one. As you can see, some very cool particle effects on display here. And this again is another story, and it's an exercise in perspective. And you know, without giving away too much, it basically delves in to the differences in perspective from two people experiencing exactly the same thing. Well, exactly the same thing in reality, but you'll come to find out that through their eyes, two totally different experiences. And it's basically the message is that a lot of reality has to do with one's perception. So Gravity, another good one, another one I recommend that you check out. But how cool is this, right? I mean, this is worth coming in here just to check out these rooms. Again, you'll never see anything like that in an actual physical museum. This is called Violence. There is no description. I have not checked this out yet, but I think I've seen all I need to know. I think as soon as we end this video here, we're going to come back in here and check out some Violence. Nothing on the walls, just black walls. And there's another person in here. They're just kind of, I guess they've set their headset down on the ground or something, or maybe they've kind of glitched into the floor. But there's a person here, Kivo. Now, if I wanted to, I could send Kivo a friend request right here, or I could make Kivo disappear so that I didn't see them at all. Pretty good social options here in this thing. So you can be as sociable or as secluded as you want to. This one's called Icarus. Freely inspired by the infamous character from Greek mythology, Icarus is an immersive experience that literally wraps us in the skin of Icarus, the young man who burns his wings by flying too close to the sun. I bet this one is a cool looking one. Let's check it out. Oh, so it's actually just the sun floating here, huh? That's cool. You can see the little sunspots and things that are floating off of the surface. Again, it may not look like much on your flat screen there, but in 3D virtual reality, it's cool looking, pretty impressive. Now, I think we're gonna call it here and not check out any more of these rooms. If you want to see them, and there's a lot here, by the way, there are a lot. Download it, check it out. It's free for a few days. In event of moon disaster, I bet that's cool. Marion the Monster. Let's go check out Marion the Monster. Check out this room. Now again, this is not the artwork. This is not the piece that's on display. This is just, as any proper museum would, it is a display of artifacts that is meant to entice you into actually checking out the art, which is inside this beam of light here. I have not checked this one out, but much like Violence, I'm sold. After I end the video, I'll come back in here and check this one out. But before I let you go, there was one more thing that I wanted to show you, and I just wanted to further impress upon you the idea that that virtual museum is way different than a physical one. So we're coming to the end of the corridor here, right? This is the end of the Tribeca Arcade Wing. That one looks cool too. But this is the end of the road, right? The end of the Tribeca Wing. So normally in a physical museum, you'd be walking back to the end and going back around into one of the other wings. But check out that window, that cool looking window on the wall there. The cool thing about being in a museum in virtual reality is that walls don't actually have to be walls. Because if you teleport onto the wall, all of a sudden the wall becomes the floor. In that window that we were just looking at, now it's kind of a window into the infinite, or a fountain. So how cool is that? So let's take a look here. So if we want to go up this way, there's the positron wing. I'm so disoriented now. I guess that's the Tribeca wing that we just came from there, right? We came literally up the wall, and now we can see that here's the positron wing that we could go down, or we could just take off down this weird thing. And what is this down here? Look at this little thing floating here. No idea what this even is, but it seems to be like some central point in the exhibit, right? It's a big circular room with these gigantic windows in it. I mean, look at the size of these windows. It's absolutely immense. But what is this thing floating here? It's like a little, there's little chairs and stuff. Again, this is the cool thing about coming to a virtual museum, because when you see something like this, we just teleport right down into it, and look, it's a lounge. Now, I'm sure that when the judges were here judging all of this stuff, and they wanted to come somewhere and just hang out together and discuss the pieces and maybe which ones they're going to pick to win the awards, they came here. And there's just a nice little area where you and your friends can get together, hang out, and talk. And then when you're ready to go back out and check out some more of the exhibits, you just literally teleport into the water, and then right off the edge, and boom, we're right back out into the museum again. And I'm not sure which way I came from, but it really doesn't matter. I think you guys get the gist of what's going on here. We're going to just climb right up this curved wall, right? Come back to this window here, and let's see. Alright, so this is actually a different wing. So this is the Veer 360 Cinema exhibit. Goes down this hallway. So if that was Tribeca and the Kaleidoscope over there, this is Veer. What was no, that was Positron over there, right? Positron and Tribeca. Veer is this way. So this here, this must be the Kaleidoscope wing. And all we would need to do, again, is just teleport onto the wall, and the wall becomes the floor. And here we have another full hallway full of exhibits for people to check out. Remembrance. These are all 360 videos. Rhythm of the Universe, Ionia. Int.act, how is the water? Nothing is safe, the powers of X. So just tons and tons of stuff here. What is this? Gondwana. This one looks interesting. Let's go take a peek in here really quick. Look at this. Wow. Look at these particle effects. It's amazing. It's changing right in front of me. Oh my goodness. This might actually be the artwork, but it can't be, right? No, we didn't go to Veer. This is Kaleidoscope, so this might actually be the one of the pieces of art that's on display here, and it just changes right in front of you. It's animated, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I don't want to get in trouble for showing something I'm not supposed to, but you get the idea. There's all different sorts of art here. There's movies, there's videos, there's interactive experiences, there's animations that take place right in front of your very eyes. it's amazing, and it's incredible that something like this is free. And to be honest, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because, I mean, how many of us are ever going to get the chance to, in real life, go to the Cannes Festival? I mean, I would have never got to go to that. In all likelihood, I would have never, ever had the opportunity to check something like that out. But due to the world being in such a state of disarray, and the fact that I'm a VR enthusiast and that I'm informed, you know, obviously because I have the podcast. By the way, this would probably be a pretty good time to ask you all, if you'd like to support my channel, please subscribe and click that notification bell. And if you scroll down to the description, you'll find a link to my podcast. And if you were subscribed to my podcast channel, you would have known 2 weeks ago that this was coming, and would have had a lot more time to check it out. So please subscribe to the Weasel channel. Please subscribe to Virtual Strangers, and be sure to click that bell so you can stay up with all of the content that I produce. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap up our mini virtual tour of the Cannes XR Festival. Again, this is the Museum of Other Realities. It's free to download right now on Steam, as well as Viveport, but it's only free for a few more days. And the Cannes exhibit itself is broken up into 4 separate DLC packs, so be sure that you download those as well. And do it now. Get in here while there's still time, so you can take in as much of this beautiful art as you can before you lose the opportunity and go back to your regular boring life. Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you again for watching, and I will see you another day from another game. Or I guess another artwork, huh? Anyway, thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.
My name is Mr. T. First name is Mr. Middle name is that period. Last name is T. Now everybody listen up. We're gonna talk about strangers. You gotta learn how to deal with them. You gotta.